Hello, students. I wanted to provide you with a video of me reading this article out loud in case you wanted to follow along with it as you read. If you'd rather just read it to yourself, you don't have to listen to this video. It's totally optional. But if you'd like to follow along with a read aloud, go ahead and play this video in the background, but make sure you're still tracking your text as you follow along with me. All right, starting with the title. Shut down by coronavirus, schools scramble to feed students. With school closures stemming from the novel coronavirus escalating, school leaders across the country must address another problem. If schools shut down, their students may not have access to meals. The coronavirus causes a flu-like illness. It started in China and has been spreading all over the world since December 2019. Millions of students in school districts big and small rely on the free or discounted meals they eat at school. Advocates worry that as more schools close their doors, more children will go hungry. These meals are a very big deal, said Joel Berg, the leader of Hunger Free America, a New York-based nonprofit. Almost 30 million kids a day rely on government-subsidized school meals. If schools are shut down for weeks at a time, we're going to have a serious child hunger crisis. All right, we've arrived at our first question. That means you should go ahead and pause this video, answer the question, and come back when you're ready to continue reading. That first question is, what is the problem that will be caused by school closures? All right, picking up after that first question. As of March 9th, 507 schools throughout the United States have been closed or are scheduled to close, affecting 363,357 students, according to Education Week's tracking of coronavirus-related shutdowns. Health officials are saying social distancing can help limit the spread of the disease. Social distancing is essentially staying away from crowds and other people's spaces to prevent the spread of a disease. This is why schools are shutting down. This is also why people are being told to stay at home. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, the government agency that oversees the nation's school meal programs, has issued guidance instructing schools on how to feed students during unanticipated school closures. However, that doesn't mean that school districts have backup plans or the government regulations make it easy to get meals to students amid a public health crisis. Access to food. In Fremont, Nebraska, the district decided to shut down schools for the week because of a local resident who may have been exposed to the virus. That means roughly 4,300 students are out of school for at least 5 days, and about 60% of families in the school district are eligible for free or reduced lunch, state data show. The school district does not currently have plans to distribute meals to students. However, officials are coordinating with the local United Way and food pantries in the region to ensure children in need are not missing meals in case the closure stretches beyond the week. Christy Fiala is a leader of the Fremont area United Way charity. Many families rely on the breakfast and lunch that's provided at school, she said. Making sure that when schools unexpectedly close, that families have access to food is important. Agriculture Department guidance from November allows some districts to offer meals using programs created to feed low-income children during the summer. However, the program requires congregate feeding, which provides meals to children in group settings. However, one practice for preventing the spread of a virus is to reduce large group gatherings. All right, we've arrived at your second question. Why aren't meals in group settings a good solution to the problem? Go ahead and pause the video now, answer that question, come back when you're ready to continue reading. Berg said the point of closing schools was to prevent people from gathering in large groups. That really defeats the purpose if people all have to go to a centralized location to get food, he said. In a March 5th letter to Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, the School Nutrition Association asked the agency to waive the requirements for congregate feeding. The letter asked for meals to be served at closed schools and community sites. The group also urged the Agriculture Department to allow districts to deliver meals to multiple locations, minimizing families' dependence on public transportation to access meals. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, is the U.S. health agency. The CDC issued temporary guidance in response to the coronavirus, suggesting that schools consider ways to distribute food, such as offering grab-and-go bagged lunches or meal delivery, to avoid having students gather in groups. All right, your next question is, what does the CDC recommend schools do? Pause the video, answer the question, come back when you're ready to continue. In early March, the Agriculture Department approved requests by California and Washington State to allow meal services during school closures. Schools have become such a hub of nutrition, says Chris Rakedahl, the Washington State Superintendent of Public Instruction. In many of our communities, if the school isn't providing lunch, and sometimes breakfast and lunch, that's a real problem that students will lack nutrition. A basic need. Coronavirus has caused the most disruptions to schooling in Washington State, where education officials said they've struggled to keep meals flowing to students amid closures. We've got to find a model for distribution in a very tough time, Rakedahl said. Districts are trying to figure out how to do that well in an unusual moment where the school itself might be closed for instruction. In Bothell, Washington, the North Shore School District closed all of its schools on March 5th for up to 14 days. The district began online classes for its students on March 9th and provided lunches to students, offering grab-and-go meals at 17 school sites. "We're still servicing students as far as education goes," said Juliana Fisher, the district's food services director. "Food is a basic need, and everyone knows that students can't learn if they don't have the nutrition that they need." The district has 23,500 students, and more than 3,000 of them qualify for free or reduced lunch, Fisher said. One of the first challenges to making meals available was having staff members in place to prepare and deliver them. She said staff members who felt they were at high risk for getting the virus could opt out of work. "One of our biggest concerns was making sure that our staff and our community stay safe," Fisher said. "We also had to determine what staff was available. And so those were the two big things. And then once we had those, we could kind of organize people into groups and work with our transportation team for doing meal delivery." What does Juliana Fisher say was the biggest problem she had to solve? That's your next question. Go ahead and answer that question in your text. Come back to this video when you're ready to finish. The district offered 2 meal options on March 9th. Orange chicken with rice and steamed carrots or yogurt with sunflower seeds and granola and a side salad of kale for vegetarians. Students did not have to pre-order. If they showed up, they received a meal, Fisher said. Situations like this really show how important it is and how much some families depend on those meals at school, she said. That's the end of the article. You can go ahead and click that exit ticket link in your document. It'll take you to a form where you can answer a couple multiple choice questions, and then you are done with ELA for the day.